Ross, I hear you have a message for Stephanie McLadyballs. Happy birthday to Steph. Your voice makes me deaf. I wish I was Rhonda so I could hurt you.
WTF! WTF!
Ahoy, hoy, I am Ross Twaddell from Cultaholic.com. You are my sexual wank friends, and welcome to all of the WTF moments from last night's WWE Raw. A WWE Raw that, compared to the last few weeks, was very bloody good in my opinion. Some hard-hitting action, some good matches, and that main event scene in particular had me purring like a bloody cat. The ball tickling was very intense. They've got a new opening thing, the dun dun dun. You know how it goes by now. That's been replaced by a bar thing, and it's really fancy. So fancy, in fact, I will never ever be able to parody it for an introduction to these WTF moments ever, because it's so bloody complicated. Whoa! Check you out, WWE, and your fancy graphics, spending that 1.5 billion before it's even in the bank, you reckless bastards. But talking about that opening thing, on the now bit, the first person you see is the Undertaker, and that's just not right now, is it? What message are you trying to send out here, WWE? The superstars of today are really old, and because of 30 years in the business, they can only do the grabs a few times a year. Who's going to pay 1.5 billion for that? No one. So here she is. Everybody roll the bastard carpet out, because Lady Balls is back in town, and there she was having a go at big baldy bastard Baron Corbin for not being a very good leader and for booking himself in a Universal Championship match against the big dog last week. That's bad, big baldy bastard Baron Corbin, she said. Let me take this metaphorical knife, she said. Let me castrate your bollocks straight off, she said, like I do every single time I share a screen with another human being, she said. So to put things right, Lady Balls said to big baldy bastard Baron Corbin, you need to sort your problems out, son, which in brackets of course are the Shield, and then she booked him in a match, a 6-man tag team match against the Shield in the main event of the night. Isn't that exactly what he did last week, Lady Balls? He booked himself in a match to take the Universal Championship away from Roman Reigns, one of his problems, and he wanted to batter one of his problems in the process. So what you've done there is exactly what big baldy bastard Baron Corbin did last week, but worse. Maggle. Acting General Manager Big Baldy Bastard Baron Corbin needs to have a good night, Michael Cole says. Commissioner Stephanie McMahon is here, Michael Cole says. Why just last night, Michael? Are you seriously telling us that when she's not at work, old Lady Balls doesn't watch her own bastard show, Michael Cole? Because if that is the case, that's gross negligence and she should be fired. If she's not watching, no wonder not too many people are at home, Michael Cole. Here's a dramatic reenactment of what Braun Strowman said at that moment there at WWE Super Show. Oh, Brawny, no wonder the powers that be will not make you the guy and put the Universal Championship on you, and you can't even get the name of a glorified house show right. What's next, Braun? Calling SummerSlam Summerfest? Calling WrestleMania WrestleTown? Where does it stop, Braun? Where does it stop? These fans didn't pay to see you bumping your gums, Roman Reigns said to Dolph Ziggler. These fans paid to see me whoop your ass. So, in riposte, Drew, Dolph and Braun all head down the ramp for a fight to get their asses whooped, presumably, and in the process, Baron Corbin sees fit to turn into that old fella off the Vicar of Dibley, saying no, while the entire arena chants yes. Because they're gagging for it, the dirty bastards. Now, while big baldy bastard Baron Corbin was saying no to Big Braun, Big Drew and smaller Dolph, I can't have been the only one thinking about Stephanie McMahon's quote from last week, where she claimed the sole reason for WWE's success today is the fact that they always give the fans what they want. Now, of course, she was talking about the women's revolution and the hashtag give divas a chance thing, but with an arena full of fans wanting one thing and big baldy bastard Baron Corbin doing his best to give them the other, she can't have been impressed. She would have been sharpening that knife backstage to cut his bollocks off. Oh, she loves cutting her bollocks off, doesn't she? Signs! Thank you very much to Max Step. I just made the manifest, and whoever that rogue Cultaholic is in the crowd, for spreading the good name of Cultaholic throughout the WWE universe. Next time you go to a show, take a sign with our name on and stuff. Hang on a second. Bayley and Balor's team name for the Mixed Match Challenge is BNB. Well, I've got some bad news for you, you pair of twats. That's gimmick infringement, and you should both be ashamed. To the naughty step you go, Bayley, you child. Alexa loves the D? Hang on a second. Alexa, do you like the D?
I don't know that.
That sounds wrong. But me! Now I know that picking on Brie Bella for botching those top-based suicidas a couple of weeks ago was harsh because she's been out of the ring for such a long time, but now I think it's fair game because Brie Bella, what the hell are you doing kicking a woman not once but twice square in the face? Now I get that accidents happen in professional wrestling that isn't ballet and all of that ballyhoo, but this is the latest in a long string of things relating to Brie Bella. So what's the solution to all this? Get Brie Bella back down in the Performance Centre for some intensive training because the mistakes that are happening now, they weren't happening before, so it's clear for all to see that she's still as rusty as a really rusty nail has been out in the rain for too long. But at the end of the day, let's all just settle down for a second and not overreact. Everybody in WWE botches. It's just a shame that currently, today in WWE, Brie Bella is botching more than most, which makes every single botch from here on forward more highlighted than the last. And what's more, everybody in the ring, referee included, handled the situation terribly, which made the botch all the more apparent. Shame on everybody, not just Brie, alright? I've got you back, Brie. And then we have the commentary team speaking about WWE Evolution, and Renee Young asked the following question: whatever happened to respecting the women that came before you? Weren't they all just swept under the rug like a dirty dust particle at WrestleMania 32 when they unveiled the new Women's Championship and trashed the term diva? An entire generation of women's wrestlers in WWE disrespected just like that, Renee. Tommy Cooper. So you'd think after knocking one of your compadres out cold with not one but two stiff kicks to the face, you'd be a bit more careful. Not Brie Bella though. But there she was, seemingly knocking Ruby Riott square in the chops with a forearm/elbow ting, forcing Ruby Riott to get back into the ring to give her a seat in the form of a stiff kick. Now I know at this stage it might feel like I'm picking on Brie Bella, but this show is called WTF Moments, where I point out all of the WTF moments. Last night on Raw, Brie Bella had a stinker. We all have stinkers. It just so happens that Brie Bella's stinkers are coming one after the other these days, and that's not a good thing, so just stop it, Brie. Would you believe it or not, after clearly being knocked out really hard, Liv Morgan was back into the ring doing the graps as we feel like we were partying like it's 1998 with Mick Foley and Hell in a Cell and other concussion-related things. Come on, man, WWE, look at how much we know about head injuries today. If there's any doubt in your mind whatsoever, do not let Liv Morgan get back into the ring. What's the crack like? Do you want Liv Morgan to become Di Morgan? Oh. Now, as we saw, blind tag saw off Natalya in that tag team match last night, but how on earth didn't Natalya hear the referee shout tag right next to her in the build-up to the finish of that match? Who knew? Cats are deaf. Dun 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 dun. So Michael Cole reported, as we understand it at this time, Liv Morgan has been taken to the back to the trainer's room to receive treatment for being kicked in the face twice by Brie Bella. However, come the end of that match, Kevin Dunn, in all of his wisdom, Teeth showed a shot where Liv Morgan was clearly receiving treatment at ringside. And we all know why this is, don't we? It's because Kevin Dunn sold $10 million worth of WWE stock and he couldn't give a toss about little mistakes in WWE shows like this one. He's off his tits, or teeth. And then, seconds after seeing that shot of Liv Morgan receiving treatment at ringside, Michael Cole, who of course watches a monitor and sees what we see on television while he's commentating WWE shows, still claims that Liv Morgan is in the back in the trainer's room receiving treatment. I tell you what, if Kevin Dunn sold $10 million worth of WWE stock, how much did Michael Cole sell to get so far off his tits he can't see the peroxide blonde of Liv Morgan? So last night on Raw, we saw many childs making many messes all over a car. There was paint, there was hands, there was contact, it was gory. However, when that supposedly same car rocked up the Raw last night, the paint that was on it had miraculously turned into stickers with paint on them. Look, they're clearly stickers. Where's the original car and whose handprints are those? Konnor pinned Chad Gable in the middle of the ring clean. 1, 2, 3. I repeat, Konnor pinned Chad Gable in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. I just don't know what to say. Although I do, because I'm going to throw a heavy stat at you right now, because apparently this was Connor's first singles win since June the 19th, 2013 from an NXT taping against Andy somebody. Baker. And I just don't get it. Chad Gable is fantastic. He's a fantastic wrestler. He's charismatic as piss, and he's a former Olympian, for Christ's sake. He's the modern day embodiment of Kurt freaking Angle. But now he's losing to Konnor, who's been around in WWE in recent years as much as my dad has in my life, and my dad's been missing for so long because daddy doesn't care. What the hell's going on, man? What's going on, WWE? I guess we just need to strap ourselves in because there's a push coming for the Ascension. Yeah. Now, earlier in the show, Michael Cole claimed that Baron Corbin needs to have a good night because Commissioner Stephanie McMahon is here, watched him like a tomahawk with glasses. Well, there she was, leaving the show halfway through it. And of course, the question here is, how much stock has that woman sold to give as little crap as that? I wish I had some stock. When it comes to The Undertaker, the ender is Nia, Triple H said, as he now comes from Biker. Come on, Paul, everyone knows you're a big fan of these WTF moments, and not the end is near. It's the end is nigh, the end is nigh, time to run away, the end is nigh. Oh God, the positioning there, awkward turtle, shaky palm tree. So we head to the Raw Tag Team Championship match where the champions entered first, which I loathe with all of my being, and not only that, the challengers got a jobber entrance. Nothing like WWE to create that big fight feel and put that little bit of doubt in your mind that the Revival, they could just do it, couldn't they? Nah. It was a great match as we all saw, but the fact that the challengers for the Raw Tag Team Championships got a jobber entrance all but ended the match before it really began, didn't it? Now, if there's one thing Renee Young knows about Dolph Ziggler, it's that rising to the occasion is Dolph Ziggler's forte. Renee, of course, was talking about the same Dolph Ziggler who didn't win a match from Survivor Series 2014 all the way through to Clash of Champions 2017. Honestly, he didn't win a singles match. So when it comes to rising to the occasion, insert penis joke here. Renee, Kevin Owens has been in a bad mood for 2 years. That's oddly specific. 2 years ago to this very day, Kevin Owens was successfully defending his Universal Championship against Seth Rollins at Clash of Champions, so that makes what you said there, Renee, really odd. Now I know Kevin likes to yell sometimes and beat people up and throw insults at your little dog, but you know, he's got the bands, and he's one of my faves, so what's your problem, Renee? Next up, we have big baldy bastard Baron Corbin claiming his partners for last night's main event have been decimating the Raw roster since they arrived on the main roster. Now, of course, big baldy bastard Baron Corbin's partners, the Authors of Pain, have only had main roster matches against Breezango, against Titus Worldwide, and against Heath Slater and Rhino, and many, many jobbers. Titus Worldwide doesn't appear to be a thing anymore, Heath Slater and Rhino are dead, maybe, and one half of Breezango is missing a limb. And the jobbers are jobbers, hardly tearing through the roster, are they, Baz? And what a fitting message the AOP's attire give us in comparison to what the Shield are wearing. They're like a cheap knockoff of the Shield, but green. As grass, not literally green like Ninja Turtles. Made a grave mistake, Corey. And next up we have Corey Graves claiming that Dean Ambrose was a Grand Slam champion all on his lonesome without the Shield, even though, as we all know, to be a Grand Slam champion in WWE, you need to have held a Tag Team Championship, which means you need somebody alongside you. This isn't tennis, Corey. Michael, we've been through this before. How many times you claim that Rizal's MMA fights never went past 30 seconds, when in matter of fact, when you go to Wikipedia, which of course is the best source of information, because anybody can edit it, you'll find that 7 of the 8 went longer than 30 seconds. Oh, what I would give to see Michael in a cage. And we end with a question: why did Drew McIntyre take his clothes off when Dean Ambrose was threatening to turn diddler and join his team? 'Cause lunatics make me horny. We certainly live and learn here on WTF Moments, don't we? That's it for this week's WTF Moments. Brie Bella. I've been Ross from Cultaholic.com. Thank you very much for being a sexual wang pheasant again as I bow like a prince. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Ross on Rascal. If you like what we do here at Cultaholic, it's patreon.com/Cultaholic. Anything you want to give us would be greatly appreciated. We'll love you forever. But most importantly of all, subscribe to this channel and then join us everywhere on the medias of the social.